Hey,
Good morning, good people.
hey, I am Sonia Thomas, the Executive Director for Nashville Propel, and also the lunch lady for the virtual school setting for a senior and an eighth grader. And welcome to our Access Denied show.
Come on now. Good morning. I'm John Little. I'm the director of organizing, and I'm here for it all. Yeah, sleep in, sleep out, sleep at the table, sleep in the shower. So
Oh,
I'm
man,
that's fun is out.
surprise.
Yes.
You a new daddy. I'm over here, the lunch lady. Y'all wouldn't believe my setup right now. I got
Yes.
my computer, my planner, a piece of cake, frying some cabbage, and got pot roast in the crock pot and sweet potatoes boiling on the stove. Lunch lady.
Yes. And as we jump into this, guys, please share this out. Check in. Let us know you're here. Tell us good morning. Tell us how you're doing. Share with your network. We got a couple things to talk about. We want to talk about just all things MNPS, things that have been happening. You know, we got the new ESSA 3 funds that have been proposed that may be coming down within the next 30 days. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a lot about some of the state legislation, mainly around a new discipline policy that passed both the state house and the state senate, and now waiting on the governor's signature. We got some good things to talk about this Saturday, which a lot of you guys have already signed up. We'll be talking about our third annual Parent Summit, Get Your Priorities Straight. So we're looking forward to that. But then we just want to hear from you guys. You know, this is the first week back from spring break. We are going into April. By next week, by the end of next week, we'll be fully into April and getting close to testing time, but also getting close to the end of the year. And so we want to hear from you guys about what do you want to be true by the end of the school year and next school year as we start back in August. And so, Sonya, we got education superhero. I wanted to tell you guys good morning. We have had a really good week, man, and we are looking forward to this Saturday. But Sonya, just how has your week been going? How was your spring break, if any? I don't think you had a spring break, but how was your spring break? And then I'll talk a little bit about, my last week and then what we got going on this week.
Well, you are correct. I have not had a spring break, but I'm most definitely going to take one.
Yes.
In April and let y'all do what y'all do.
Yes.
But it's all good. Last week was can or whoop you know what on me because it was spring break and folk needed to do what they need to do, and that's great. My kids, they got their spring break. They was cool, but we was all still out here in these streets still working.
Come on, man.
But I mean, all is well in the Thomas house. It ain't perfect over here, but all is well. We in the land of the living. We are healthy.
Yes.
I was just hollering at the kids because they don't know what the trash can look like, and they'll be a little like mountain people. So anybody can get it over here. I get it over here.
Come on now. Same here, and I know you didn't have a spring break because I was on paternity leave, and it was just last week was kind of it was a beautiful nightmare. The days were angelic. The sun was out. And then in the evening times it was like get your priorities straight. You're gonna stay up and get this bottle for me. You're gonna change this diaper like. So when I looked at third annual, get your priorities straight. Like I already started with a first annual, get your diaper priority and your milk priority straight.
Right, handle your business because he's in them streets over there. My little car.
Man, he is growing up. Got his shots. Went to the audiologist. Yeah, it's a journey. It's a
whole journey. I know it, but this too shall pass. And my mom used to always tell me they won't be babies always. They won't be babies. So just enjoy these sleepless nights and hey, switch it up. Maybe I would try a different brand of diapers.
Yes.
Maybe he's getting wet. He don't like wet. So congratulations. I know you guys are doing a good job, and I know it feels like You're not having a good time now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we enjoy the daytime and just keep our cool in the nighttime. Nobody snap on nobody. We just take it in stride.
Wait till he get to. Just wait until he
Yeah.
get to.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll stay asleep.
Yeah. You can get a whooping then.
You know what, John? Just to like light it up for you, man. When Trinity got two, we had to put a lock on the refrigerator. She started walking in the middle of the night, going in the refrigerator. If I fried chicken, man, we wake up in the morning time. She got chicken legs in the bed with her.
Wow.
Breaking in the refrigerator.
Wow. Yeah.
We put a lock on it because we were afraid she would open it and turn it over on herself.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, but it don't stop. They just
yeah. It don't stop. But it's like you said, it is all good. But yeah, it's gotta eat your Wheaties. I see Miss Sasha Holt on here. Good morning, Miss Holt, who is gonna be really showing some leadership this Saturday. Thank you for we'll be talking to you at 2. See Miss Rhea Groves, the superstar, the stardom, who has been, man, I think you have shared it more than I have. And we appreciate that. Rhea representing cohort 3.
Wait a minute, we gotta stop right there. My girl Rhea, I love you. And you know I mean that from the bottom of my soul. I love you. Your leadership is greatly appreciated. So thank you for being a powerful parent leader, doing your thing. We'll talk about that later, but y'all, I'm gonna tell you something. She done came through this here fellowship. She done developed. She done activated. And I'll talk about it later. But she cutting up.
Yeah, I agree. Every time I turn around, like everybody know you got to get your priorities straight. Saturday at 11. If you don't know, check out Rhea. She'll let you know too. Check out all our pages.
Yeah, because she done got put off some Facebook groups running up on folk and everything about children and everything else, baby.
Come on now.
She ain't playing with folk about these children.
Come on now.
I'm stirring this cabbage. Y'all see my arm?
And then I see we got Miss Mary Sweat, cohort 8 represent. Thank you for jumping on. But one of the things we want to talk about, especially as we see we got moms. And so this week in the state legislature, I believe it was either this Monday or the past Friday, they actually passed a bill, and it was the New Discipline Act, which essentially said the teacher has to go through a 6-step process. And they got the legal right by the state to remove that kid from the classroom permanently. And I'll tell you, when I
better not take my child out of class. Better not. Sorry, better not.
And when we seen this, I'll be honest, I didn't think it would pass. There was an uproar. And I was like, it ain't no way once they hear from real people, they're going to pass it. And so at one point it passed the state house. And I was like, okay, they don't know what they're talking about, but okay, like it's not going to pass the state senate. Then it passed the state senate. And then it had to meet back up and make sure that both of their legislative bills about this aligned. And they did it. Now they sent it to the governor. And if the governor signs it or doesn't sign it, it's going to become law unless he vetoes it.
Governor Lee, I am speaking on the behalf of Black and brown parents from our most struggling community right here in Nashville, Tennessee, who have children who go from schoolyards to prison yards to graveyards.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are going to be put out of class, I say defund the classroom, because funding is per pupil funding. If they not being taught, not one red cent to go in that classroom.
Mm-hmm.
This is another way to put into law racial discrimination. Sorry, but it is. Our children are disproportionately suspended. Our children are disproportionately suspended.
Yeah, this is, and let me just show you guys, just for some of you guys who may have missed it, just kind of where the bill is right now. Let me pull this through.
I'm sorry for going off, y'all.
No, this is, I mean, but that's how important it is. And I think these are the things we need to talk about to make sure parents understand what they're pushing through. So again, as you see, it said it established a 6-step disciplinary process for student removal. It passed the Senate. It had already passed I think it just passed the House. And so this says it establishes a process for teachers to remove students from the classroom for a quote unquote disorderly behavior. And the biggest question is what determines disorderly? You know, the devil is in the details. And they cleared the House Monday night, but because of the Senate amendment, the House must take final action on the bill before it can go to the governor's desk. And so it says traditional public schools, public charter schools are required to set up a process authorizing teachers to follow a 6-step process to remove students who repeatedly and substantially display disruptive behavior. And then it just says they're not able to teach. The bill sets up a process and procedures that the teachers have to go to remove a child. Dun, 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 dun. And I'll tell you, this is what Ramesh Akbari of Memphis said. She said, disruptive behavior is not clearly defined, which would allow for interpretation at will. She says the bill does not accommodate students with undiagnosed learning disabilities. And then Hensley just said he thinks it'll be contrary. And so as you guys read this, what are some of your thoughts around a bill that now sets it up where they can remove my child, Sonia's child, your children from the classroom based on what they deem as disruptive behavior?
So I'm gonna tell y'all a little story. Last year, a science teacher called me in the afternoon after school was out. Mind you, the morning of, my son was having a rough day.
Mm-hmm.
He actually cried in the back seat. And I don't mean to I'm not trying to shame him, but he told me, he said, Mom, I feel dumb, emotional. And so I had to console him. I had to get him together and take him and kind of de-escalate the situation with him, encourage him. But he had to go into the school building feeling discouraged. Like we often do sometimes. We have to pick ourselves up and keep going. And so he entered into his science classroom later that day, Miss Collier, and I'll call her name out because we've had this conversation. And me and Miss Collier have an agreement right now. And so Miss Collier called me and told me that she excused my son out of class because she called on him 3 times. And each time that she called on him, he said that he didn't know the answer. So she said, so-and-so, can you da-da-da-da? And he said, I don't know the answer. I don't know. She deemed that as being disruptive.
Okay, good example.
And she put him out of class. And she called me. And so my son was in the car. And I was very respectful because I wanted to make sure that I show respect and model communication in front of my son. And so I allowed her to tell me the story. And so I explained to her that his difficulties that morning of, and I excused him from the car. And I began to tell her, you never even asked him or even thought to go even deeper, to ask him why he kept saying he didn't know. You didn't realize that he was ashamed and he felt like you were picking on him because you were asking him to read things out loud or discuss something. He processes information a little bit slower than others. And you made him feel ashamed. And I said, let's get this straight from this day forward. Don't you ever put my son out of class, especially if he says he doesn't know something. You have to find out why he doesn't know. Yeah. And if you can't figure it out, you call me because I will leave this job. I will lose my job and come up in that building. And if he's having behavior problems, that's on me. I will lose my job and come up there. But that was not a behavior problem. So John, that's the bullshit I'm afraid of.
Yeah. See, and that's the realness of what we're going through and what different interpretation is. Like you said, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I actually remember that day you were telling me what even happened before then. And so for him to go to class and have that on his mind, he was having a bad day. But if you would have asked him, like usually, he's great. But that's why this bill is bad. And that's why it doesn't take into account what we deal with in the urban school district, and the issues that we have living in a place like Nashville, where the cost of living is out of this world and families are just holding on to survive. And so you don't know what people are going through. You don't know who moved, who had to sleep on somebody's couch for the night, who electricity got cut off because of jobs like this is the wrong time. If not even any time, but definitely the wrong time for a bill that criminalizes our students.
You don't know who didn't get their clothes washed.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have no washing machine. Like, this really breaks my heart because we don't ask these children anything. We just assume that they're bad. They don't know if they mama and daddy got the hell beat out of them or if they done lost a family member. Nobody even asks. Why don't you know? Yeah. How can I help you? How can I help you know? How best can I support you?
Mm-hmm.
Come here. Do you need a hug today? Do we ever even ask them that? Do you need a hug? Are you having a rough day, Mr. So-and-so? Or Miss So-and-so?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk, class. Let's wrap our arms around our classmate, because something is impeding them from learning. And if they're not learning, then we're all not learning.
Right.
So let's create a space.
So, yeah, and we got work to do. And I hear you, Sasha. It says we need to stop the bill now. And unfortunately, so the good thing is it can be stopped. Like legally right now, the governor would have to veto it. They would have to send it back to the state legislature. They would have to override his veto by a third of the legislature. So not even a simple majority, a third. But likely the worst thing that would happen, he just wouldn't sign it. And by law, it still becomes law even without his signature. And so there's hope. But if they're acting like anything that they have acted like, it's not going to be a reverse. Like right now, they're debating where you don't have to have a gun permit to carry. Everybody can carry. So that's what we're dealing with in this legislative cycle. These type of bills against our children, but also bills that could potentially turn our city or our state into the wild, wild west.
You know what, Sasha? I love you too. I love you too. I love your child. I love you too. Let me tell you something. This is why we have to build this movement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not impressed. Everybody that's listening right now, listen to Miss Sonia. Bills like this creep in because it's not enough of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
John and I and the team, we've been following this bill. We got to have y'all, because we can't look, we can stop this stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot do this by ourselves. I'm begging and pleading with y'all. Let's save our children. Mm-hmm. Join this movement. Don't nothing else matter, y'all. It don't matter about what kind of hair we buy, nails we do, what kind of, where we live. They putting us out of our hood.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, if we don't build this movement, we don't do it now, we ain't gonna exist.
Yeah.
So I'm begging you guys, Sasha, everybody under the sign of my voice, we need you. We can't do this. We've been knowing about this bill. We've been speaking out about this bill, but it ain't enough of us.
Yep.
So what we gonna do, Sasha? What we gonna do, Rhea? What we gonna do, y'all? Stacy? This the stuff we got to take care of together. When we have our monthly campaign calls, y'all got to be on here.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all are. I'm talking to people that are. We got to get more people on there. We got to train more parents more than ever. We got to increase our training goal. We got to train more parents. We got to activate more parents. We got to show up at the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to demand equitable policies and practices. And we can't do it without y'all. So, Sasha, I need you, baby. Call me. We got work to do. Call John. She said she's all in. We all in.
Yep. And I met with Sasha earlier. I want to say that was Monday. And just, we talked about the campaign training. We talked about things that are going on and how she has been inviting people. And so it was just encouraging because we're growing the movement. And so coupled with everything else we got going on, like we're so close to the greatness of making sure parents are at the front of the table and not the back of the bus.
I want to shout out, I'm going to say my team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on this team. My family. So you put my to you. My teammates, my colleagues. Already in 3 months, we've talked to over 500. And I ain't talking about no cash we'll talk to. 500 parents and grandparents. We come in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
We come in Nashville in record numbers. Y'all get ready. Y'all better partner with parents and grandparents. We ain't having no more. We taking action. We not backing down. We risking it all. I'm risking my nursing career. Forget it. Don't nothing else matter to me no more. We risking it all for our children. We building a whole movement. So get ready, MNPS. Get ready. State of Tennessee, y'all better hope y'all keep this thing closed down. But you still not, ain't nothing stopping nothing. Like I said, close to 500. And it ain't even, it's just now month 3. We're not playing. We educating parents. We are empowering them and we are activating them. And we're igniting the movement, y'all.
Yeah, so man, and just watching this journey grow. And one shout out to Clifton Maya, like you said, we talked about him. He started with the team. He went through cohort 7. He has hit the ground running with organizing this week, getting ready for the summit. But that's growing the movement. Shout out to, like I said, we had some parent meetings. Joshua Leach, he's in cohort 8. He's doing his own Easter egg hunt. He was like, I want to make sure y'all meet every parent we have at the Easter egg hunt. And like, that's because he was like, what's that?
When's the Easter egg hunt?
It's April the 3rd.
Okay, we need to make sure Josh, we got your back. We're going to put it on our social media to make sure that we promote that for you. Yep. And we're going to get some folks. We're going to meet them parents. We're going to sign them up for some stuff. We're going to continue to build this move. So Josh, we got your back, and let us know if we need to donate anything, baby. We got you.
And let me tell you the special thing about that. And it's kind of on us. He was like, hey man, we met on Monday. It was like, I need the sign-in sheet so I can sign up and make sure we get all these parents. And it's like, that motivated me to say the accountability. Like, they see the movement that's growing and they want to make sure like we maximize it. Like that's the magic. Like, that's why we do the work that we do.
My God. Stacey Campbell. I've been knowing Stacey Campbell since I moved to Parkwood. I lived out north, 37208, till I was about 7 or 8 years old. And then I moved to Parkwood, and Dorothy and George Ackland were my godparents. And back then, nobody really said that, but they were. Miss Ackland was my Girl Scout leader. She got me in Girl Scouts. She always picked me up. I went over their house, knew their brothers, George and Marcus and Carrie and I the same age. And they were like family. And I'm so glad to be reunited with this powerful family. Again, Bishop Marcus Campbell and his great work. Hey, Bishop, call me. I got something for you. Call me. I can't reach you. Basically, make sure the Bishop Campbell call me. He need call me. Got something for him. Okay.
Yeah.
He called me. Form, you know.
And as we get ready, I know you guys had a great spring break, but what are some of the things, like we want to hear from you guys? What are some of your expectations as we get ready to start TN Ready, close this school year out at the end of May, but also like what do you expect to be true by August of this year for the new school year? And so we just want to level set, like what are parents thinking that as a school system we need to have for our kids, and what are your expectations for that?
You know, I say I want to go before the school year starts.
Mm-hmm.
I want this tutoring program,
Yeah.
this funding, these things that they're saying is going to work to recover our children from learning loss.
Mm-hmm.
Say that word, because we have people in the district like Dr. Changus who does not want to use that word. Let me tell you about word play. You'll get played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Learning loss is real. Learning
Mm-hmm.
loss is not new. So why was it okay for people to talk about the summer slide or learning loss before COVID-19? And now that money is involved, now that people don't want to be embarrassed about learning loss, now it's a term that folk can't find no definition. They can't find no data. It ain't
Mm-hmm.
when we
Mm-hmm.
get it right in our homes. And so, Dr. Changus, I'm calling you out. Learning loss is real. I want this tutoring. And Sasha said tutoring program is a must. So, Sasha, we're going to get with you because we develop leaders. We want to put a plan together. Sasha, were you leading this portion of organizing so we can get 500, 600, 700,000, whatever children sign up for tutoring? So if it's a challenge that you would like, let us know. We'll let you lead that. We'll support you in every way and put something together. I'm sure Rhea is game with helping to develop you and coordinating. As a matter of fact, we can get folks signed up at the Easter egg hunt. Can't hear you, John. But every child needs to be signed up for this tutoring program.
Yep.
Giving us the money.
Yep.
They've been to use it.
And let's talk about that, Saint. So one of the things I want to do is just go over kind of the money flow. And then I want to go back to the tutoring program and really talk about like why this is important. Because as we look at the money flow and how much money. And so as you can think about it, Saint, if you can make your guesses or your predictions, how much money have we gotten through every time we get a $1,400 stimulus check, how much is, not just the state, but let's just look at how much is our metro schools getting. And then I'm gonna show the breakdown from a post we posted on our page.
You want me to get my calculator?
Yeah, get your calculator, like, so we can be clear and on point.
Okay, so let me get my calculator out of my phone. 24 million.
Okay.
123 million. Check. 246 coming. Am I right?
Yep.
Am I right?
Yep. So what is that grand number?
393.
393.
I don't even know what that smell like.
I don't even know what it smell like.
I don't know what it feel like. On top of the $1 billion.
Yeah.
That we already got.
Yeah. So we say that not to parade around the money, right? But when you know there's been money allocated for you, like, you want everything you deserve. It's like when a family member passes and they leave you an inheritance. You wasn't really needing that money, but if it's there for you, like, you want to make sure it's allocated to what is supposed to be done. And as we look at this inheritance that we got from the stimulus money, what is going to change? Last night at the board meeting, we had a long conversation around the chicken or the egg, like which comes first as we think about this wisdom and wit reading curriculum, right? And they were having like this philosophical debate. And I was just like, that is just so over my head. I really didn't understand. And I was like, let me just ask a question. As we take an hour to debate the chicken or the egg, which comes first, what are our literacy scores in the Maplewood, Whites Creek, and Pearl-Cone clusters? And a gentleman got up there and said, they're below average. But in reality, especially if you were in cohorts, 6 through 8, or even
Dr. Changus.
Yep.
Dr. Changus said that they are below average. That's wordplay. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. But let me tell you what below average means. If you got 100 students, if you think about the Whites Creek cluster, out of 100 students who walk through the doors of Whites Creek, who go to the pep rallies in the gym, who eat in the lunchroom, who ride those buses, who does the homework, who comes to school 5 days a week, only 15 of them are walking out understanding reading.
Can I stop you right there?
Mm-hmm.
We have schools in this district that are graduating valedictorians, and I ain't gonna say what school,
mm-hmm.
with an ACT of 14. Carry on.
Yeah, and I'll tell you guys, it's a low number because the highest you can make is a 32. The number that you need to be at average is a 21. And we had a conversation about that in our class.
Well, you need a 19 just
for average.
Get in college and take some remedial classes if
Mm-hmm.
you make average. If you want to play sports, to go through the clearinghouse, you need a 2.5 GPA, mm-hmm. and you need a 19.
Mm.
A 19 is a C average.
Mm-hmm.
It's comparable to a C average. My daughter got a 24 and got a full ride scholarship.
Mm.
I think she could have got a 26 or 28 if she wanted to keep, to do it again. But she got a full ride scholarship with a 24. Our children with all this money in this district need to be having children making 24s and 26s. Because they all can do it. There's nothing special about my child. The only thing that I'm going to tell you that's different is my ability to make a great school choice for her.
Mm-hmm.
So school choice is very important in this whole formula. Our children can't be stuck in low performing schools that mm-hmm. are not teaching them how to read and going forward.
Don't have the time.
Don't have the time for it. Mm-mm. So stop playing with us, because we will not be sending our kids to low performing schools.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't make us. And if you try, which I know y'all trying, watch us. We can do virtual school too. I'm sorry. I done got pity.
No.
I'm sick of people playing with children. I'm sick of it because they're dying. And John know what I'm talking about. I went through something a couple of months ago. A lot of tragedy and death surrounding children. School to prison pipeline. I have not publicly spoke about it. But I'll just say this. I got a newfound piece of anger and matter of fact about these children. Ain't nobody gonna sleep at night.
And let me pull this up. So as we go over that, and we think about learning loss, and we think about what kids have been missing since we haven't been back in school, we're just going to take a minute to go through the Tennessean article that talks about what the state and Metro are bringing this summer, just to make sure we have parents who understand specific opportunities. So let me pull that up. Okay, and then it just says Metro Nashville Public Schools will offer free summer learning programs for students in grades K through 12 at nearly 70 school sites across Nashville. They'll provide the breakfast, the lunch, the transportation, as well as before and after care at some sites. And one of the quotes from Dr. Battle, she says, it's been nearly a year since metro schools and schools across the country had to close due to COVID-19 pandemic. It has disrupted so much of our normal way of life. And many of our students have been learning virtually for much or all of the year. Dr. Battle said in a statement, we want to give those students who may have seen their academic progress slow down or who just want the chance to have more face-to-face learning time, the opportunity to catch up this summer. And then it says what the new law requires, and then we'll close it. Tennessee lawmakers approved a $160 million legislative package aimed at tackling pandemic-related student learning loss, the state's stagnant literacy rates, and how the schools will handle standardized testing. And as part of that package, districts are required to offer summer programs for at least 4 to 6 weeks for students in grades K through 8 with a focus on the kids who are deemed a priority and how they score on the Tennessee Ready. And then we'll close it up right there.
What about the high schoolers?
Mm-hmm.
They are suffering. We're getting calls from parents, Stratford.
Yep.
It's just all over the place. Maplewood. Man, like this country sends folk to other countries to war when they're injured, when they die.
Mm-hmm.
If they're captured, they don't leave them.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, why are we leaving children on the battlefield? Dr. Battle, we got to talk about this. You know, I'm going to shout out Dr. Battle for the summer program. Dr. Battle, we got to talk about being innovative, thinking outside the box. We have to do things that other people don't do. We have to go places where no one has ever gone before.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got to look at ways of remediating even these high schoolers. Or you know what? Maybe we have to, what do you call it? What we need to give reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the right word?
That's the right word.
Maybe we're going to have to give reparations to these children. And it's just not, just not to Dr. Battle. I'm saying this to the governor. I'm saying this to the president of the United States. You got seniors who are sitting in these classrooms. How I know, because I see it, I listen in. Yeah, some of y'all teachers don't know I'm listening in on your class.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. Early on, it was a teacher in the class over in the middle school that was laid on her sofa with a blanket on, like she was in bed. The kids were like, what the hell?
I remember hearing that.
Okay, then, for more than one people.
Yeah.
And it 2 times for me is the trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not bashing teachers, because there are some great teachers, some great educators out there. What I'm saying is children are losing out.
Yeah.
So let me be clear. I'm not no teacher basher. I'm a system basher. So if you itch, scratch.
Yep. Yep. And accountability is accountability. Like what I used to tell people when I talk about some, I don't group everybody in one. It's like if I'm working at the grocery store, I'm not doing a good job, they're not talking about our grocery store employees. They're talking about John. And so if we talk about a teacher on the couch, I'm not talking about all teachers. I'm talking about that teacher on the couch. Like that's the accountability.
And maybe next month we invite Dr. Battle here to talk about literacy and the summer tutoring. Would y'all like for that to happen? We can reach out to Dr. Battle. I'm sure she'd be glad to come and talk about literacy and talk about the summer program. Is that something you guys want to do? Okay, we'll ask Dr. Battle to come and give us the details about these 2 things. I'm sure she'll kind of have some more plans together as she's listening to feedback. So Dr. Battle, I know somebody from your team is probably listening. We're gonna reach out and get something coordinated. I actually talked to Ashford. Ashford, I'm waiting on you to call me, Ashford. Yeah, I'm calling you out. Let me know it's gonna be Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, bro. And we're gonna put some stuff together so that you guys will be in the know of what's going on. And we'll keep inviting Dr. Battle back to get the information we need to get. So parents are saying yes, John. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ask her to come and talk to Nashville Propel parents and grandparents and get a big audience together, which we could do it in person. We get you 300, 400, 500 parents in a room to hear what you got. But we will do that. So that's what our parents want. That's what they're gonna get.
Yep. And I tell you, parents, the last time Dr. Battle was on, I mean, they really appreciate it. We had, not only did we have good attendance, but we had good feedback and good commentary. Because again, this is what we know. When you bring parents to the table and you give parents an opportunity to lead, they not only lead, they lead others as well. And so they just don't show up themselves. Once they see it's real and they see we can trust it, we ain't about the BS, they're going to bring more parents. And that's all we're going to do. And the more parents know, the more our students grow.
Yes. And so three things we'll ask her to talk about. We need an update on the personalized learning plan and student dashboard, literacy, and the tutoring program. Those are the three things that I believe parents want to hear just based on the feedback. But parents, Nashville Propel parents, we signing up all our children.
Yep.
Y'all hear me? Hell, I might sign up and give me a class.
Come on now.
I struggled. I had a 2.1 when I graduated. Somebody owed me something. I can't do the math right now. So we signed up all our kids. Y'all get everybody going in tutoring. All this money, they making it rain. Everybody going in there. Y'all hear me? Everybody. All our kids are going into these tutoring programs. And we better have some progress when they come out of it.
So, yeah. And let's think about our bank accounts and what we use our bank accounts for our kids. Let's think about the state and the city. And if Sonya added up a little bit, but let's add some more numbers in there. And so can somebody get the calculator out? Somebody just looking.
Get your calculator, get your phone out.
Yep, get your phone out. Like, let's add this because
don't forget about the grant money and stuff we don't really be talking about, right?
And let's just throw these numbers out here because I'm sure I'm gonna miss a pot of money. So first, let's throw out let's throw out the ESSER money, right? I think we said it was let's say $26 million. So it's 26. And then ESSER 2, it was 123.
Oh, wait a minute, I gotta do it over my calculator. 26 plus 123. Okay.
And then with the new ESSER 3 money, what did you say it was? It was
246.
246. Okay, and then we got some state money. It was 160 million in total. But let's say just a random number. We got 25 million of the 160 million for the learning loss in our summer programs to do the summer programs for the whole. All right. And so what number is that, guys? If somebody can put those numbers on the board.
So we got, okay, I done messed up my calculator. So we got 26, we got 123, 246. And then you said the last one was about 50 of that 160.
Yeah, let's say about 50 because it looks like it's robust. Like that's 70 sites.
I got 45. What y'all get? Y'all know I'm visually impaired too. Don't be laughing at me.
How much did you get?
I got 445.
445. Okay. So let's take that and then just add on one more number. So that's just our I guess that's our play money, right? Money, when you get your check, but you might get the stimulus. When you get the stimulus check, like that's
one time. No, let's be politically correct. One-time funds.
So we get excited about 1,400. So we're dealing with 400. Torvis said 420 million, right? So then let's add to the regular budget. Like let's add it to our paychecks, right? So we got the 1,400 in stimulus, but we also get a paycheck, twice or three times a month, depending on the pay schedule. So let's then add in the regular budget, which is 900. Let's just say 24 million.
24 million, 924 million.
924 million for just 1 year.
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I ain't poking fun. I'm calling. Yeah. Okay, let me be clear. I ain't trying to be smart. I ain't trying to be petty. I do not want to hear another school board member, district representative, parent, the newspaper, the Tennessean, nobody say we underfunded. Somebody said, Sasha said close to 500. Yeah, I got 445. Torby got 420. I think your calculator off, Torby. Yeah. So John, my calculator over here saying $1,369 just for this year.
Yeah.
That ain't being being in the classroom the whole time. So that lowers your cost. Like anytime, even your house, when you when you down
electricity, maintenance,
those types of things, the wear and tear on your house. When the kids go away with their father, I don't have to buy as much food here. Those types of things. So don't play with us. With numbers. Anybody that says that we was underfunded for this year, you need to go to jail.
Yeah.
Somebody need to check your pockets.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm saying it, and call me 615-509-1916. Check your own pockets. Check your calculator.
Yep. Knowledge is power. And as we see, and I love these numbers, like what we're getting, it just shows you. Now think about it, it's been as high as 85, it's been as low as 79,000 kids, what they deserve with all the monies that we got going in. What do our literacy rates, if they're at 15 now, what, and that's what I want to do, the accountability. Like, it's not just about getting the money, but how are we making sure we take that money and put it into the heart of our kids to put them academically, culturally, socially, emotionally in better places than we are. I'm going to end on this saying, I'm going to pass it back to you. I was watching Disrupt and Dismantle last night. It was the Norfolk edition where it talked about housing. And that shit was so sad, right? It shows you that it was a plan, an intentional plan to disrupt the living situation, right? But what they don't realize, that wasn't just Norfolk. That was Nashville. Like, look at Casey. The same thing they were talking about in Norfolk is what they proposed for Casey. Making it mixed use, putting it 3-to-1. When you look at all the projects, when you look at Joe Johnson, when you look at Sam Levy, when you look at what's getting ready to happen in Napier and Edge Hill, when you look at projects all across the country, it's been an intentional thing and it's happened everywhere. And they have been successful. So Norfolk is just the last of a dying breed. And so that's why we got to be intentional about staying on top of this education thing, because what's happening here is happening in a lot of other states, in a lot of other cities where there's a high concentration of Black, brown, and poor people.
It's nothing new. My family, I have a lot of family in Norfolk, Virginia, sisters and brothers. My dad lived there for many years because he was in the military. I actually talked to a literacy advocate that has ancestry in Norfolk, Virginia. This problem is a man-made system that was foundationally built on white supremacy and racism. And this system was implemented all across our country. And we have, and you know what? I think I want to change the way that I describe the system, because I say, a lot of times I say it's a system failure. And I think that my thought process on that is different now. No, the system is working the way that it was set up to work. We have an accountability failure. We have we're failing morally. We're failing morally. That's what we need to start seeing.
Mm-hmm.
The system is not really failing. The system is working the way that it was set up, and it's working at its very best.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out George Washington, Jordan Jefferson, all them, Thomas Jefferson, all them folk that wrote the Constitution. Shout out. The system, and then the four people that came about who has been building the system. Shout out to you, because you have done a damn good job of doing what you do. The system is working. This is what it's going to take. Education wise, it's going to take bold leadership. And what I mean by that is it's going to take people who are going to call it out. It's going to take those who work in the system to say that enough is enough. When we don't speak out against things that are not right. So if you are a teacher, if you are a superintendent, and you know that the system is broken and you don't say it, you are protecting the system. And there's two types of people that we know: those who are for children and those who are not.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to pick a side.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to pick a side, and it's okay. That's what a movement is about.
Mm-hmm.
We're building a movement of parents and grandparents. But let's transition into what's going to happen this weekend, John.
Okay.
Right now, this is Read Me Month in March.
Mm-hmm.
And we're focusing on getting your priorities straight, which is our annual Parents Summit, which the priority is intentional. That word priority is about priority schools, because we represent parents and grandparents in our most struggling communities who are zoned or attend our lowest performing schools, which are priority schools or schools of innovation, whatever you want to call them. They were priority schools when we started. And if we need to change the name of our summit, we will, to address it. And our theme is, we have the right to be taught how to read. The right to be taught how to read. This is what we know. If you can't read, you can't learn. If you don't go to a school such as a Purpose Prep that is leading the way in improving literacy, you're not going to be successful as you deserve to be. You will not reach your greatest potential. Yes, we have children who are graduating high school, some going to college, some building careers. And they're doing that on low quality. Imagine if we were intentional about making sure that our educators are equipped to teach children how to read. And if we looked at literacy as a right and not just a privilege because of where you live or the color of your skin or who you know. Imagine a world where children are taught to read and they're called on in class to read a passage and they don't feel ashamed. And so they stay in class. Imagine a world where children are taught with proper reading instruction. What's the name of the curriculum, John? I can't think of the top of my head.
Wisdom and wit.
Wisdom and wit.
Wit and wisdom is one of those.
Wisdom, wit and wisdom. Imagine a world where we have quality literacy instruction that is done right. Let's put emphasis on that. Not half-assed, done right, meaning everybody's trained to use it, educators and the parents. Imagine a world where we looked at children, where we put a plan around every child to fix what we broke. Clean up the mess that we started. And then start fresh with those coming in. Imagine a world where reading is a right. Just like First Amendment and Second Amendment rights. Just like any other right that this country is saying that people should have. Why is being able to read not a right? Why even have school buildings open? Why even fund schools? If they don't do nothing else, they should be teaching children how to read. How do you do science, social studies, math if you can't read? You can't. You cannot. It's not going to happen. Children are getting A's on their report cards and they don't know how to read well. They're getting accepted into magnet schools and they don't know how to read proficiently. Yes, they're passing the test. It has nothing to do with IQ. Reading has nothing to do with how smart you are. So yes, you can get into a magnet school and be low proficient on reading and fluent on reading and be missing components of reading. Reading is a recipe. You cannot bake a cake without flour or baking soda. It won't rise. It'll be flat. It'll be just a bunch of dump mess. But you still can call it a cake, right? You can still say, I baked the cake, although you didn't do that shit right. You did bake a cake. So this Saturday, I need every last one of you and everybody in this community under the sound of my voice. If you got a conscience, if you have a heart, if you want to do what's right by children, no matter how right you think you've been doing it, you need to register for this Parent Summit, organized by parents, led by parents, featuring some of the most powerful women voices in this city and this country. No, none of us claim to be perfect, but we will call it out. And we are not ignoring the fact that our children are not reading well. We're not ignoring the fact that this is a moral failure in this city, in this state, and across this country. And we're not going to ignore the fact that there is a recipe, there is a cure, there is a solution to ensure that all children, whether they want to become an educator, astronaut, or if they want to go into a tech program, or if they want to be an entrepreneur, that they do so. It does not matter about their disability. I tell y'all all the time, I have a vision disability. I can't see. But when I put on my glasses, they accommodate my vision, but I should not be denied the right to be able to see. And so if your child has a learning disability and they're not reading on grade level, it's not an excuse. 99% of all people can be taught how to read with proper instruction and curriculum and being in a quality school with people who will fight for them and go to bat for them and people who will not back down and will push them. So everyone, the link has just been dropped in the comments. Go to this link and register now. If you got something else to do at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, ask yourself, is it something I can do next Saturday? Is it something I can push back a couple of hours? Is it more important than life and death? Is it more important than us really gaining some power? And when you know and when you understand, you become more powerful. And so this is a call of action to everybody that's listening, everybody that comes back and looks at this recording. Register for this summit. Every teacher in Metro Nashville Public Schools, every district office, central office person, the governor, Penny Swin, literacy advocates in Nashville, Anna, everybody in this country needs to register for this summit. You will hear the story of many. A lot of you have seen my son's story and my story and the story of Nashville Propel on What the Words Say, written by Emily Hanford. We thank her for that. You will hear more stories. It's not just about me and CJ. You will hear more parents that just will represent the masses. Be brave enough to tell the ugly truth. So you guys need to make sure that you're there. I don't really ask y'all to do hardly anything, but I'm begging you to be there for this. I'm begging you.
All right. And thank you, guys. This has been a great conversation. We're going to keep it moving forward. See, we got people like Mary Sweat, who has been all over. We will see you tomorrow evening as we go into week 3 of the fellowship. And for the rest of you guys, we'll see you on Saturday morning. Starts at 11, so we'll see you. Be there, be ready by 10:45.
10:45. Make sure you're in a quiet place. Make sure you got good internet connection. If you do not know how to get on, you can reach out to Nashville Propel Parents at gmail.com. One of our parent leaders will reach out to you to guide you through getting to your Zoom. When you register, you will get a confirmation that will have a link in it to the summit. And on the morning of the summit at 10:45, you will click on that link and you will go into a waiting room. We will start promptly at 11 a.m. welcoming you all to the summit. If any of you have ever seen Lagra Newman, she's on Disrupt Dismantle. She is the founder of Purpose Prep Pretoria Academy here in North Nashville, right in the middle of the school to prison pipeline. We have Dr. Sonia Santelisis, who is the CEO and of Baltimore Public Schools. She's like the equivalent to Dr. Battle. And we have Fisha Hawkins, myself, John Little, and a few other parents who will be hosting and leading this summit. And so we'll see you guys there. I'm excited and just fired up and ready to go because the best is yet to come.
Fired up, ready to go. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye, y'all.